put Nino in an uncomfortable position. Are they forcing like a Ruby gold lane again?
Oh, Ruby gold lane.
Nana?
That would be interesting, but Nana is what is being banned by Alter Ego, knowing that they don't want to deal with the kind of AoE crowd control that we have seen being so efficient, and they want to have a mid laner they can actually take out. The Lilia, though, is still available. I don't see why Geek wouldn't take it, but Export comes first.
Alright, so still the same pick for Luke in the XP lane. This time, we're still not sure if it's going to be the Arlet in the XP or if they're going to pick up an XP laner here, maybe another Lapu Lapu to go up against that X-Borg. Against the Minotaur, though, if you want to dive in, it'll be a bit risky, but Pi should be able to make it work. Another choice might just be a Terizla too. But other than that, the gold lane, the big question, Arashi. Brody, carry, Bruno, banned, Claude picked, denied away from Nino.
We have to see. I think they're still... Jonathan kind of stands out. I feel like it suits Nino's personality. Unless they want to go for a fighter in the gold lane, like the good old days. Jonathan. Oh, and it's going to be a Grok as well. So they're trying to make sure that the pesky Fredrin and Minotaur crowd control can be mitigated by the Grok.
This definitely is a problem now for Geek. Claude, Fredrin, Minotaur, they need a hero for a boy. Valentina is an option if they want to go for it. Novaria is banned out. Lilia, so either Lilia or the Valentina, like you mentioned earlier on, there is still some value in the Lilia if they want to go for it, if they want to try and out-rotate Alter Ego in the early game. And it's a lot safer as well than the Valentina.
He doesn't want some kind of AoE right here to really capitalize on a big minion in Fury. It's going to be the Valentina, so they're going to be attempting to steal some really value ultimates here. Maybe a final slash, a wild charge. A lot of options available, and a boy does get very creative. On paper, just right now, I think Alter Ego has more say in how the fights happen. But Geek fam, they're not looking too shabby.
But remember, Chidera is on the Claude. At some point, he was known as Claudera. Because he has a win rate of 100% so far, and it is within his top 3 most picked heroes with a win rate of 57%.
57? It's pretty good. It's pretty good, but we'll have to see. I think when it comes to a big team fight, Alter Ego has the advantage, and that's the issue here. They can have the same kind of chase, the same kind of setup for a big fight. So I think it's going to be a similar attempt like in game number 1. It's on the shoulders of Geek fam to try and cancel it out and find something different.
Geek fam need this more than ever. They need to force this to a game number 3 if they want to make it in the green zone of the standings. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in the Land of Dawn for game number 2 between Alter Ego and the Geeks. Can Beloyski save his team? Can Hazel coming in, replacing Ray, be the X factor to not allow a 2-0 clean sweep?
Alter Ego are also as hungry though for that top spot. Ooh, they are fighting for now, up against the likes of Onic and BTR up there. Some good damage from Krite over to a boy.
Oh, look at Taz and Rasi though coming in to try and get the purple. That clear advantage is really being put to good use by Taz, but with the only result in a litho, not bad at all. The mid lane matchup here with a Valentina Minotaur is kind of weird though. A boy gets stuck.
Yep, gotta be careful here. Beloyski tries to aid him there and will be able to, but Krite, one curse blast, and it should actually be able to take a boy out. A boy dodges away.
If he landed the grip first there and then went for the blast, would have been more guaranteed, but Krite is just content pushing right now, going with the Demon Shoes, going for as much mana as possible. You can clear the wave in about with like 3 spells, and if you run these boots, the mana boots, you can replenish all your mana and you can be pretty ready for any kind of fight at all moments in the game.
And with that being said, you can already see that he's looking for a trade in the bottom side. Look at the way that he's rotating. He doesn't want anyone to know that he's there. Will Luke know? But on the other side, it's like a reverse Uno card.
Will Alter Ego know?
Exactly.
Pi as the bait, a boy jumps forward, Krite good terrify over to the void now. Pi is dealing a whole lot of damage with Taz, who rotates over Shield Unity over to Hazel. Now Last Insanity though instantly, and a big bomb to Krite, and even a final splash from a boy, stealing it away. Pi able to go back for the Vengeance, and now gets his final slash as well. Now onto Luke, a Vengeance again. Luke very low. Rossi one more hit, he just needs one more. But gets taunted up. Luke's going back at it. Rossi flickers out, but a boy chases now with Loiski, getting a menu with Fury onto Pi, bonking his head too.
2-4-0 trade, and now Geek are going to retaliate by taking away this neutral objective away from Alter Ego. It's a completely different setting, a different tempo that we saw in game number 1. Behind, I would rather say, a very hasty Alter Ego. They really wanted that kill, but in return, they had to lose in the process.
Felt like they were behind her, but whoa, Chidera.
Oh, last hit, fade away, doesn't get it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Pi again jumps in, tries to save the orange buff alone up against 3. It will not live to see or tell the tale, but it's the same thing for Chidera up top, stays a bit too long and gets dove by Rossi and Taz.
Man, chaos all across the map. But on the lane that really matters later on, in the top side, in the gold lane, Nino is getting a huge amount of value right now. Pulling through. Audience prediction is still towards Alter Ego, but Geek fan showing again that they can play that gankception game again like we saw in game number 1.
But Alter Ego, man, with the fits back, right? Now Taz gonna try and attempt to take away. Doesn't end up going for that, but neither does Rossi, and they rotate back towards the mid lane. What initially was really well done by Geek, the aggression was turned back onto them. And what can we expect entering the mid game?
I feel like Alter Ego will shape up and be a bit more decisive in their targeting, because if you look at the lineup for Geek fam, for the most part, they have a lot of ways to really sustain and go in and out of a fight. Same can be said for the Minotaur, for the Fredrian, and even the Export has the Firaga armor. So Alter Ego definitely a lot more precise in their targeting, unlike in game number 1, where in general, if they're all just dealing damage, it kind of ends up working out.
Yeah, makes sense. So it doesn't seem as clear-cut now, especially with Pi on the Arlet as well. 15 seconds left on the next neutral objective to spawn. Both junglers are at level 7. It's looking like a more 50-50 scenario for both of these teams. Beloyski in the bush looking for an opening. As it looks like the XP laners are rushing together to get to this, looking for a 5v5, but Natan's not there.
And the boy has stolen the wild charge, so it is equal footing there. Some poke from Luke over to Rossi, trying to get all that bar super high to melt him down with the Last Insanity. As long as they are able to get Rossi out of this fight, it should be a free turtle over to Hazel. Oh, that was scary, man. Rossi was hovering over. I thought he might actually just pop into wild charge. They are going to go on to Pi, though, who again is overextending this time and gets caught in the Last Insanity. Flickers out the safety, but only just gives the gold to the gold lane. Chidera takes it with skill 1. But in the bottom lane, tier 1. Good tanking from Beloyski to get this turret down as much as low as possible, but they will have to delay this take either way.
That's a curious situation for Pi. Knowing that the turret was being taken, he still extended far there, but Hazel lost his purple to Rossi. Man, anyhow, it looks one-sided, but Alter Ego got the turret in the bottom side, so not all is lost, but with Pi 0 and 3, it's a complete different look from game number 1, the exact opposite.
Rossi is so evil, though.
He's a menace.
What?
He did what Yaoi did to Vincent, man.
It's evil.
Let's see if Beloyski can be evil too here. Oh, they've spotted Hazel. Oh, Hazel! No evil. They're stealing from each other.
Oh.
They're equally evil. It's almost like they want to win the game.
Hey man, all is fair in love and war, but look at the positioning at every single moment. Nino is just left alone to his own devices, so he's farming up a storm right now. That's the last thing you want to see coming from a Nathan, no?
Yes.
With the Stallion scythe now, he's going to do a lot of true damage, especially after popping that entropy in the middle of a big fight. That's a massive power spike. Already at 4 items technically right now. No, 3 items. We'll see if he participates in the fight starting now.
Oh, Rossi.
Power of nature. He has the anti-CC, but Can you really take that burst? My god, the entropy though, used up by Nino already. With the Eternal Guard too, they're gonna get rid of that Eternal Guard, but Krite spawns it back to him. Geek fam in the mid lane, clearing it out. No Eternal Guard for the next fight. Turtle spawning in 1 second.
Oh, that burst damage coming through for Geek. You gotta be careful when they go for this, but I guess that's the only way to find information. Luke gets chunked down, and bye-bye, Viraga armor.
No Viraga armor, that's why they decide to strike. But Minus Fury now is gonna catch Taz all alone though. Rasi in the back, wild charge out of 3. Nino free hitting with Vital Slide from Pi! Puts them all in a sweep, and Chidera now blazing the west, zones in the back line. That's Pi still in the midst of it all. Hazel is gonna get picked up, but so does Nino in the back. It's still Luke who is playing in front and back with the fire, trying to melt them down. That's a good Terrify over the Kripe from a boy. The Kripe flickers out the safety. Last Insanity! The blow up in the back, and Pi now with a vengeance desperately in a final slash, but it will not be enough to take them down. Chidera picks up the kill and now is looking for the purple buff.
That's a 4-2 trade, ladies and gentlemen, as boy goes in for more. That's a 5v2 plus. However, they get a turret, but Alter Ego, Krite, was able to steal the turtle. Who was it worth it for?
I think that has to be worth it for Geek fam. Just pushing, putting Alter Ego even back, getting structures in the process. With the vision game in their side, they can be a lot more aggressive as well. Alter Ego, man, that was so risky and yet so close. It's unfortunate for them that they lost Nino first in that team fight. And afterwards, there were several moments that was so chaotic that Krite did not land his spells. And when it is that close, it just was too costly for the game. Looking at the items, Feather of Heaven Starlium against Corrosion Scythe Demon Hunter Sword. For Chidera, he's going to be waiting on that Golden Staff Power Spike in order to really shred down the front line. But everyone else, especially for Krite, going for the Glowing Wand right now, he does want to get that Enchanted Talisman to get more cooldown, more spells out, because a boy already has it, and he is just bursting down, stealing spells, making the best out of all these big fights.
He's been very flexible and versatile with the choices that he makes with his IMU. And with that being said, Chidera gonna be, oh no, Taz.
Taunted up.
No,
They're
right?
actually hesitant to take this fight with the Poissons. They think something is brewing, maybe in an ambush. Turns out Alter Ego, they're just in the side lanes. Rasi rotating over, last Insanity from Luke over to Nino, trying to burn him down, actually dealing a whole lot of damage. Bloiski's here too with a flicker, Animated Fury. The wild charge goes through, but now it's Rasi all alone. He tried to defend his gold lane, but now he gets caught in the crossfires. He's still able to survive though. Super fast rock.
Nino was just so far out alone, and even when Rasi got some vision, spotted out the whole team of Geek fam barreling towards him, he did not go back, so that was quite interesting. Now Geek fam with the momentum goes straight for the Lord. Alter Ego, there's no way they contest this. It's just too risky.
I mean, Nino is up. Can they delay it? Turns out they can't. They're gonna blitz it down, and that's gonna be a free Lord for Geek fam in the 10th minute of the game. The tempo and the momentum shifts in this game is insane.
I really think that now Nino's affinity, I don't know, penchant to just sit there and just tank out fights is kind of working against him. He has the damage right now with the Holy Crystal completed, but he just has to be further back. He has to play a bit safer. If Beloiti can get to him, I feel like it's already too close.
Is he ready though? In terms of like items? Has he reached that power spike?
He has damage, but he doesn't have survivability. That's the main concern right now.
Now the Lord up top. They are able to bait out that base turret. Only the half HP. Only the first Lord, remember, so far. Will they be able to crack a base turret? Doesn't look like it with the Natan still able to clear super fast. Geek fam will have to wait a bit longer.
Two waves are still crashing though. You can see Luke waiting for his moments as well, but what's going on in the jungle?
Oh, what's going on in the mid lane? Krite almost solo killed by Chidera, who's just shooting.
Just going in. No reservations whatsoever. Spraying down Krite there, almost taken out. So I feel like, especially for the backline members of Alter Ego, you gotta really take notice of Chidera and the dive potential. Get some defensive items, man.
And we talked about this a little bit earlier, right? That nearly solo kill onto Krite. That's the reason is why, right? And this is the game fact from GoPay, the answer to the question why. In MPL ID Season 13, Claude stands as the sole marksman from Geek to achieve 100% win rate with 2 picks, while the other 4 marksmen ended up in losses. So you can say this is more than just a comfort hero for Chidera. It's a power pick. It's a signature pick.
It is 100%, despite the team going 0 wins on other marksmen. That's a very interesting stat, right? What does the Claude give to him that other marksmen don't? You would expect a hero that needs to scale up a bit more. By the way, he has Athena shield.
Yep. I think he's just concerned about the damage coming in from Right later on. And Nino, of course, can do a lot of damage, but he doesn't intend on staying, in the same spot long enough for Nino to really shred him down. So it's gonna be more. It's gonna be treated more as burst for him. That's why he went for the Athena.
And Nino goes in for the Divine Glaive.
That's a lot of penetration, for sure. So the front line for Geek fam, the bulk of them have a lot of Athenas, actually. And the Radiant Armor is already completed for Hazel as well. So they can stay in there and tank up a lot of damage. But afterwards, I think the issue for Alter Ego is, can they melt everyone down at the same time, right? Can they get them in the same area, the same pocket for all the AoE to really be beneficial for Alter Ego?
They're zoning Alter Ego away. And Geek, they're shredding it.
They certainly are. Doesn't look like Alter Ego can do much here. Geek fam utilizing that crazy DPS that the Claude can provide to just melt it down. Alter Ego, they still have a chance at this game for sure, that late game. But how long do they need to wait, Arashi? What's the timer gonna look like when they do get to that power spike where Natan can shred?
Well, for the Natan, I mean, with the Divine Glaive, he's already doing a lot of damage. He's only waiting on one more item. I feel like now, with his kit alone, with the items he has so far, it's already a significant, respectable amount of damage. So I think it comes down to the moments here. Can they get a fight that really suits them? Because the whole time, Geek fam have been the one that was able to actually zone them away and get the fight that they really needed, especially with the dive players back line. They need the defensive items, man. The back line of Alter Ego, if they get like a Wind of Nature, an Ice Queens, something to deal with Chidera, I think they can do well.
Oh! Flicker Minus Fury over. Nino still able to escape the Eternal Guard to peel, but Pi already is melted down to the front. Now Luke jumping in with Last Insanity over to Taz. Still able to escape, but the Tortoise Point Sunset and Shield Unity, but now it's going to be Crowd gets knocked up. Still able to flicker out now as Rossi is in the midst of it all. Not going to be able to tank for a long time. He gets shredded down. Nino has the entropy again. Goes in for Luke. Luke is going to survive still. Has Immortality, has a Braga armor. Now going to be melted down once again as Nino starting to shred them down. This is the timer that we were waiting for, but unfortunately for Alter Ego, it might be too late. Chidera, Battle Mirror Image, getting out 3 base turrets taken down. But Nino, on the brighter side for Alter Ego, it looks like he's online.
Best case scenario though for Alter Ego, you would say. But this, unfortunately, with losing all those base turrets, this has propelled Geek to a 10k gold lead. Is it still possible for Alter Ego to come back? Sure, we were talking about timings with Nino finally coming up online, but the amount of time that is required for him to dish out the damage, as we saw in that previous team fight, it feels a little long to me. And within that period of time, Geek fam can utilize their burst to beat everyone else from the side of Alter Ego down.
Well, I'm a big believer in never say never until it's really over. But for Alter Ego, I feel like they have to change the order of how they fight here. In that fight, Pi was taken out first, and I have to say that in the late game situation, in a big all-out fight like that, it's better to quote-unquote sacrifice the Baxia instead of the Arlet, so that the Arlet can actually land those stuns, land the big final slashes, and you can see them building. The Baxia and the Arlet both already having the Blade Armor to try and deal with Chidera's damage. So has Rossi, by the way, so everyone's just trying to survive from the initial shred. And they have already Athenas and Radiant Armors to deal with a boy. Because I think later on, if Cryde can also output the same kind of damage, already getting the Divine Glaive now, big power spike, it's a lot of AoE, and Geek fam has been clumping up together to try and get value from the Minotaur's healing.
Like, technically, Alter Ego, they also have Rossi, who hasn't found a moment at all in this game, has he?
Don't remember. I think it was just like the first few turtles that he was able to get a wild charge, 3-man wild charge. I remember that. And that was during the second turtle of the game. But yeah, not a lot of moments created for Rossi here. If we look at the pattern, Rossi has been able to find more success on reactive roamers, right? When you put him on heroes like Brock, proactive ones, it doesn't feel like he is too comfortable on it, and maybe this game further proves that.
I think they have to wait for a big moment. I mean, like you said, if they're waiting for a play in the neutral objective, I think it's going to be too difficult. So Alter Ego, they're content letting it go, and now they're banking everything on the base defense. Like I said, I think they should put Taz in the front, then let Rossi and Pai go for the counter engage, Krite as well. If they know that there's all those ultimates just waiting to be thrown at them, you got to be a bit more hesitant to go in.
Rossi is taking a whole lot of damage. Great poke. Eternal Guard used up just for the Lord, though. Beloyski taken low by Nino with the Entropy. But now it's the last Insanity to back. Luke flickering out the Taz, blows him up. Eternal Guard stolen away. A boy puts it down onto Krite, poking him down. Lord gonna be dealt with. Pi gets the bottom slash onto Jadero, but he's still gonna be able to survive with it with nature. Now in the back as well. It's just gonna be Alter Ego shredded down to pieces. Only Rossi left remaining. He tries to clear, but it ends up with a boy with a triple kill. We have game number 3 on our hands. Ladies and gentlemen, El Familia versus the Geek Fam Unity.
Community. And here it is, the official force to a full best of 3 series.
Now we have bad blood in this blood feud between the two families.